from the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
The suspect who crashed into two U.S. Capitol Police officers in Washington, D.C. this afternoon is believed to have connections to Indiana. That is what law enforcement sources tell ABC News. The sources have identified the suspect as 25-year-old Noah Green. We are working to learn more about those reported connections. And police say Green and one of the officers are dead.
ABC's Elizabeth Schulze is in the nation's capital, where investigators are trying to figure out what motivated the attack.
It was a horrific scene for Capitol Police. Here behind me is where police say a man rammed his car into a barrier. The building was on lockdown for several hours as authorities responded to the incident. At the nation's capital, a solemn night. A Capitol Police officer is dead and another hurt after authorities say a man drove his car into a security checkpoint.
The suspect rammed his car into two of our officers and then hit the north barricade barrier. As such time, the suspect exited the vehicle with a knife in hand.
Police say the suspect lunged toward officers before he was fatally shot. Law enforcement sources identifying the man as 25-year-old Noah Green.
It does not appear that he is known to the Capitol Police or the Metropolitan Police Department at this time.
The two injured officers rushed to the hospital. One is in stable condition. But the officer, William Billy Evans, did not survive. He'd served 18 years in the force. A procession of police cars and motorcycles taking his body to the city medical examiner.
I just ask that the public continue to keep U.S. Capitol Police and their families in your prayers.
Flags at half-staff at the White House. President Biden, who's at Camp David, said in a statement he's heartbroken for the officer's family. Inside the Capitol today, this alarm sending the building into lockdown.
No entry or exit is permitted at this time in any building of the Capitol complex.
A stark reminder of the scene on January 6th, when a violent insurrection left 5 people dead, including a Capitol Police officer. With Congress in recess, most lawmakers were not in the building today, but many staff members were.
This rips the scab off and continues to provide a level of, uncertainty and worry about, the workplace.
Now, D.C. National Guard deployed an immediate response force here to support the Capitol Police. Security here at the Capitol has been scaled back in recent weeks, including the removal of some of that fencing. But there are still more than 2,000 National Guard members stationed here in the city, which once again finds itself on edge. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Well, again, we are working to learn more about the suspect's reported connections to Indiana. You'll want to look for the latest on the WRTV app and at WRTV.com.
Millions of Americans and more than 17% of all Hoosiers are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. And those numbers are rapidly increasing ahead of a holiday weekend and spring break for many. The CDC is offering new recommendations for air travel. WRTV's Cornelia Soccer dives into the latest changes and the impact they're having on travelers.
People are passing through the Indianapolis airport for a lot of different reasons.
It's our senior spring break.
I'm actually just relocated to Indiana.
And these travelers, if they're fully vaccinated, can feel more at ease about where they're going after new guidelines from the CDC were announced Friday saying those who are fully vaccinated can travel within the U.S. and do not need COVID-19 testing or to quarantine once they reach their destination, as long as they're taking COVID-19 precautions.
We're going to continue to keep all the great practices in place, washing our hands, staying our distances and things of that sort.
Viviana Menzies tells me these new CDC recommendations make sense and will make traveling for her easier than it has been this last year.
Very excited to be fully vaccinated and can get back on the road and get on the, be able to travel and fly, not only for work, but with peace for, fun.
Speaking of fun, Trey Davis and his friends are heading to Florida for spring break. He says they need it after the school year they've had.
Oh, it's been terrible. Having to wear masks and be at home, that's just sucked.
At 18, he just became eligible to get vaccinated, and he says he will because he sees the benefit of traveling without worrying about the virus. He tells us what he hopes life is like in the coming months as more Americans get fully vaccinated.
In 6 or 7 months, I just can't wait to not wear these masks and just be able to be with people that without masks and just be in a place where we can all just hang out.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
And while the CDC says fully vaccinated people can travel at low risk to themselves, travel still is not recommended at this time because of rising coronavirus cases.
You have until April 19th to register for a COVID-19 vaccine at Lucas Oil Stadium. The home of the Colts is partnering with the team and with Meijer to host a vaccination clinic on April 23rd and April 24th. To sign up, text COLTS to 75049 or go to colts.com/vaccine by 4 p.m. on April 19th. Registering is not the same as booking an appointment. If you are accepted, you will get an invitation to reserve an appointment. The first dose of the Moderna vaccine will be given at the clinic. It's open to all Indiana residents age 18 and older. Mass vaccination clinics are also being held outside of major cities. Nearly 1,900 people got their vaccines at DePaul University today, thanks to a partnership with Hendricks Regional Health and the Putnam County Health Department. The department's preparedness coordinator says not only did the community respond by filling appointments, they stepped up to help the clinic run smoothly.
We have almost 100 volunteers that are out here helping us today, DePaul students, community members, everyone from in the city to out to our rural communities. This would not be successful without them.
So it's been very easy, very quick. I think I've been here for all of 5 minutes. I did my pre-registration out in the hall, came in, was directed right into a room pretty much once, going through all the double checking of who I am, and got the shot. Everyone's been awesome, and I'm just happy to finally have this vaccine.
COVID-19 vaccines in Indiana are now open to all Hoosiers as young as 16. You must register for an appointment. You can do that by going online to ourshot.in.gov, or you can call 211. You can also file for an appointment by going directly through a retail pharmacy that offers the vaccine.
While there are signs of hope at this stage of the pandemic, there are also efforts to make sure the lives lost are not forgotten. More than 12,000 people in Indiana have died from COVID-19, including 20 new deaths reported today. Hancock Regional Hospital held a memorial this afternoon. Staff members planted flags, each one representing a COVID patient who died at Hancock Regional.
And of course, this time of year with a lot of faith and people thinking a lot of that right now, seemed like an appropriate time to set this up and leave it out for the public to come and just have a time again to process their feelings, emotions, and pray or be still or whatever they need to do.
The memorial will remain in place until next Friday.
Now to the forecast here on this Friday, and it is another chilly night. But WRTV Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is tracking a weekend warm-up. Kevin.
Temperatures have got to go up, right? They've been unacceptably cool for this time of April, the beginning of April. It's felt more like latter part of February. Metro area temperatures from the east side to the west side, about 4 or 5 degree difference. And that's the same within the state. As you go to eastern Indiana, that's a little colder. The departing core of the cold air closer to eastern Indiana, western portions of the state in the upper 30s. When you wake up, coldest hours are 5 to 8 a.m. We'll see the wind increase tomorrow, and with sunshine, that'll help these temperatures recover quickly from around 30 degrees into the low 60s. That's the temperature from which we'll continue to warm up as we go through the 7-day forecast. We'll talk about that and how long we stay dry coming up. Mark?
See you soon, Kevin. Thank you. An Indianapolis woman is shaken up and sharing her story with WRTV after a close call that she says could happen to anyone.
I could have got shot in my head. So that's terrifying. My daughter could have just got up to come in the bedroom with us and been shot. That's terrifying.
Samika Davis says that a bullet came through her bedroom window early Monday morning. She lives at the View at 79th apartment complex near Ditch Road on the north side. Davis does not think her family was targeted, but that does not make her feel any safer. She's calling on people to think about the consequences before picking up a gun.
The world makes it look so glitz and glammy with the, oh, I got this, I got that, AK, blah, blah, blah. But they don't process the real reality that comes behind it until it already happened.
To make matters worse, the window is still damaged. Working for You, WRTV talked to the manager of the complex about the repairs. She said she was aware of a police investigation but declined to answer any additional questions. So we took the issue to the corporate office. We're waiting to hear back. WRTV will continue to push for answers on Samika's behalf until the window is fixed.
Services will be held next week for a fallen Monroe County Sheriff's deputy. Visitation for Deputy James Driver will begin at 10 o'clock Tuesday morning at Sherwood Oaks Christian Church, followed by the funeral at 2 o'clock. Deputy Driver died in a traffic accident Monday while responding to a call. The 38-year-old leaves behind a wife and 3 children.
I wrote this book, one, because I love to read. I loved to read when I was a little girl, and the representation was just not there.
Coming up, how a local author is helping change that and inspiring all kids.
The pandemic has taken a unique toll on college campuses and the performing arts. Next, how a choir class at UIndy is overcoming the challenges.
Only at Ashley Home Store. From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
The coronavirus pandemic has laid out all kinds of challenges for college athletics programs and college arts programs. It's been especially tough for those who shine on a stage or perform in a group. Tonight, we go inside a rehearsal in a church at the University of Indianapolis and explain some of the challenges for those with a gift and for those looking to nurture that talent.
2, 3, and.
In Dr. Webb Parker's concert choir class at UIndy, Brianna Coates' voice is one of many. But hers sure does stand out. The sophomore and Franklin Central High grad has big dreams.
I want to audition for the Met. I want to audition for Broadway's. I want to, just travel the world and sing all over the place and show my voice to people.
And go.
Brianna's classmates want a future filled with music too, and they are not letting this pandemic keep them from that.
It's spirit. Music drives everything that I do in life.
I am a music therapy major, so I would love to be a music therapist.
It definitely makes me feel like I'm a part of something, especially here in the choir.
Together, Dr. Parker and his students navigated the struggles of making music during an abnormal time for our world.
Singing alone in your bedroom, looking at other people on Zoom is just not what choir was intended to be.
We found ways to connect over, the internet, but other than that, I still felt a little distant. But here, being closer to everyone, I feel more comfortable and happier here.
These are different kinds of rehearsals, but they're still happening, with each singer spaced apart from the other, and their voices still resonating through their face masks. It's still happening despite the challenges. Dr. Parker has groomed promising singers on campuses in Maine and Mississippi. He's fairly new to UIndy and coordinates the university's choral program. In his short time here, Dr. Parker has discovered other hurdles brought on by the pandemic.
I love to travel, go out to high schools, middle schools, community centers, churches, share with the community what it is that we do. And that's been virtually impossible. We definitely want to respect the science, but at the same time, it's made it very, very difficult as a person who's in their first year in this position who really wants to get out and show people what we do here at the University of Indianapolis.
Especially since he aims to recruit new talent to the university from area high schools. The inability to show up in high school classrooms can be a detriment for students who may have the talent, but need that extra push and financial aid to hone their singing skills at the college level.
With majors, it tends to get out there, but with non-majors or folks who are planning to come to college but not major in music, they often don't know the questions to ask or don't even know that those monies are available or that they can sing.
It was a door that opened before the pandemic for someone who didn't even know if she should knock on it.
At first I didn't know honestly, if I'd come to college or do something general and then just work somewhere, but I was actually suggested to go here from one of my professors He told me about the program when I was still looking for a college to go to, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll give it a shot.
A decision her in-person audiences in the post-pandemic world will come to appreciate. Dr. Parker hopes through this story, budding singers and musicians come forward and consider continuing their music education. You can write Dr. Parker at his email, parkerw@uindy.edu, or you can look up the programs on the UIndy website. And by the way, all of the UIndy choirs have a concert coming up on May 2nd at 4 p.m. It's virtual and will be streamed on the university's Twitch channel.
Well, hopefully you're looking forward to a combination of sunshine and mild temperatures as we roll into our first full April weekend. And then next week, you'll see the trend continuing. The nation's eyes, the basketball world, will be focused on Lucas Oil Stadium tomorrow night. And what a great weekend for out-of-town guests. 40 in Bloomington, otherwise in the 30s. Most of us will settle to around 30 degrees instead of being closer to 20 like we were this morning. Show you the radar, no clouds, no precipitation. A big blue H on the weather map will do three things. Keep us with generally clear skies at night, sunny skies during the day. Keep the humidity low, but also start a southwest wind. Now that we're on the mild side of that area of high pressure, we'll be above average for the next week. Average high is 59. You'll see several days where temperatures will go into the 70s, and that comes with a dry stretch as well, at least through Tuesday. First opportunity for some rain appears Wednesday, and the most likely time, I think, arrives on Thursday. You're good to mow. If you need to get out and mow the lawn for the first time, you'll have that opportunity on a number of days. The wind tomorrow will be the bigger change from today. We had light wind today. Tomorrow it will increase starting in the morning into the afternoon and gust over 20 miles per hour. That's warmer air, though, being brought in from west of the Mississippi, and our temperatures respond. 62 during the afternoon hours. Second half of the weekend, Easter Sunday, will start in the 40s and settle just shy of 70 for the afternoon high. From north to south tomorrow, temperatures just a little above average. Again, the wind is more noticeable, gusting over 20 miles per hour, but we've got lots of sunshine to go with these temperatures. Then on tomorrow evening, everyone downtown will be a busy place. Temperatures will fall after sunset, which is at 8:12, into the lower 50s, and the wind will calm down. Easter Sunday, 60 by noon, 68 for the afternoon high temperature. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, temperatures in the 70s, 74 the warmest on Tuesday. Then that chance for showers Wednesday, thunderstorms on Thursday. That's kind of a transition day to cooler temperatures to end next week, but that's certainly not cold at 65, still above average. Have a great weekend. Amanda.
You too, Kevin. Inspiring little girls to be anything they can dream of. That is the message behind a new children's book written by an Indianapolis woman. Jaleesa King wrote, "When I grow up, I can be anything," 5 years ago. After years of hard work, it is now published and available to buy. This is Jaleesa's first children's book. She saw a lack of Black main characters in children's stories and wanted to put Black girls in the spotlight, showing the book's readers that these girls have endless opportunities as they get older. She hopes this book relates to all kids, regardless of what they look like, to highlight the importance of representation for young children and the joys of thinking big.
I really wanted this book to not only be representative for little Black girls, but just kids and even adults everywhere, that one, your dreams are never too big for you to accomplish. It's able for them to see not only a girl doing a cool job, but also like a little Black girl doing that job and just seeing that she's centered in that story. So I think that representative and diverse books are important for every kid's bookshelf and not just the population that it represents.
When I Grow Up, I Can Be Anything is available on Amazon and digitally. To see more of our interview with Jaleesa and where to purchase her book, check on our website at WRTV.com.
And the illustrations look amazing there too. Great to see. An organization that's dedicated to serving the community is now asking the community for help. The MLK Center at 40th and Illinois mentors children and provides after-school services. The building is nearly 60 years old. Since 2015, the center has spent more than $150,000 on maintenance. The organization is raising more than $1 million for renovations. Leaders with the center say the money is about more than investing in a building. It's an investment in the community and kids like Gila Gibson.
It's like when my mama died. I started my mom had passed away and I didn't know how to control my anger. But this MLK Center helped a lot.
This is a community center that's owned and operated by the neighborhood and by the community. And so anybody in the center that invests in the MLK Center is investing in the future of youth in our community.
The center needs donations to raise $1.2 million. The United Way will then match $1 million through its Capital Projects Fund. If you'd like to help, we have more information in this story on the WRTV app.
Verse.com.
Central Indiana is in the home stretch of hosting the entire NCAA men's basketball tournament, something that may never happen again. WRTV's Brad Brown takes us to Lucas Oil Stadium, where the Final Four tips off tomorrow.
The road to the Final Four has come to its final couple of turns here at Lucas Oil Stadium, the day before the national semifinals. Brad Brown back here with you inside Lucas Oil Stadium. Scott Drew brought the Baylor Bears here as a #1 seed, and among the tournament favorites, the Valparaiso native knows a whole lot about basketball in Indiana and a whole lot about basketball in Indianapolis as a graduate of Butler University. But his job as the head coach of the Bears and turning Baylor into national power after they were at the bottom of the barrel not all that long ago has been nothing short of remarkable. Now here on this court with perhaps one more opportunity to get themselves into the national finals, Scott Drew is savoring every moment of being back home for this his biggest game at Baylor.
Well, it puts you one step closer to the ultimate goal, and that's cutting down the nets on Monday night. So tournament started out with 68. It's down to 4. Everybody wants the same thing, and whoever plays the best in that 40 minutes, it advances. So we'll do everything we can to control what we can control and hopefully be successful and move on.
Baylor and Houston will be the opening game on Saturday. Game 2 sees Gonzaga taking on UCLA. The Bulldogs going for their 31st win as they try to continue their run toward a perfect season. Mark Few's 22nd at Gonzaga, his best perhaps, and maybe the best team college basketball has seen in more than a generation.
We were preparing for this moment, much earlier this week, and so it helps having been through it. But at the end of the day, just going to come down to the game tomorrow night, and which team is going to step up and play the best.
All right, and again, Saturday night's winners, they'll play Monday night tip a little after 9 o'clock for the championship game on Monday night as we wind down what's been an amazing tournament all over Indianapolis and the state of Indiana. Some breaking news this afternoon out of Bloomington. Trace Jackson Davis will be returning to Indiana University. He was about the only big bright spot for the Hoosiers in 2021, but he will come back and make a go at it with Coach Mike Woodson and his new staff in Bloomington.
I believe what we have here is something special, and I want to be one of the reasons why. I don't want to be someone who ran away when it was tough. But it's really all in all, it's just I believe in Coach Woodson and I believe in the tradition of Indiana basketball. I know we can get it back.
So a ton of excitement here downtown. This place is going to come alive on Saturday. Just a little bit of fans here for these practice sessions on Friday, but it's going to be fantastic to see these games come to a head on Saturday, and we work our way toward the championship game on Monday night. Time to take another break. We'll be back to wrap up tonight's edition of the News at 11 next.
Menu. Feed your happy.
Sunshine start to finish during the day tomorrow. That will help our temperatures move from below freezing into the low 60s for the afternoon high. Warmer on Sunday. Enjoy. Amanda?
Well, thank you for making WRTV your choice for news. Have a safe weekend and happy Easter.